Hello, hello, and welcome to Increasing Customer Retention, Loyalty, and Advocacy. We're so excited to have you all joining us today and hope you've been enjoying Birdeye View. My name is Saad, Rizwan, Vice President of Customer Success here at Birdeye, and I'll be your guide during this session. Just as a reminder, you can easily engage with us throughout the session using the engagement tools on the right of your screen. We've also got a team of experts answering questions who are available for support. So please utilize the Q&A and drop your thoughts in the attendee chat. And to get us started, why don't you warm up the attendee chat now by dropping in where all you're joining us from. All right, well, today I'm joined by Melissa Wright. Melissa is the Chief Sales and Marketing Officer of American Pacific Mortgage and a true customer advocacy, loyalty, and retention expert. With more than 20 years in C-suite leadership, Melissa has built companies from the ground up to multi-million-dollar acquisitions, led organizations from last place to number one in their industry, and has grown sales from $4 billion to over $24 billion. She has been ranked as a top marketing leader, awarded top 30 women in business, and a 7-time winner of Best in State, and nationally recognized as one of the top 100 most influential mortgage executives in America. Welcome, Melissa.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here with you.
Thank you for being here. Now, we have plenty to cover during our session, so let's dive right in. It's no surprise to hear customers have more options in today's market than they ever have before, which can certainly overwhelm customers looking to make a purchasing decision, especially locally. This is why likely 81% of consumers conduct online research before purchasing. But with an estimated $50 billion spent on digital ads by retailers in 2023, it can be difficult to stand out in a saturated state of the World Wide Web. This is why it's incredibly important for your customers to have a strong voice, especially online. Happy customers are your top promoters and the best way to showcase real, transparent experiences so you can build brand loyalty faster. But I'll have Melissa take it from here since she's the expert on this. So Melissa, can you start with how American Pacific Mortgage nourishes customer advocacy and loyalty?
Yes. So I want to take it back to the beginning. So let me give you a little foundation of our company. So our company is made up of distributed retail branches across the United States, and the customer is found and served by our sales agents or our loan officers. So when we look at that, I need to build a reputation for the company, I need to build a reputation for the branch, and I need to build a reputation for those that are connecting one-on-one with the customer. Now, you just given a stat that, 81% of people are doing their research. And in different industries, that might even be more than 80%. So they're searching you out. So we knew that we needed to build our online reputation. We did not want to be late to market with this. We wanted to lead the market. So we joined in partnership 7 years ago. And when we started out, we were pretty lean. We had 13,000 reviews was all. And when we started in 17, we were also a little bit smaller than we were today. So we were primarily West Coast, a little bit in the Rocky Mountain states, and fewer branches than we have today. And we wanted to lean into the reviews. We wanted it to be something that was easy to ask for, easy to showcase, easy to connect with your customers on. And so when we partnered at our 13,000 reviews. So now fast forward 6.5, 7 years later, and now we're up to 135,000 reviews is what we have across all of our locations and all of our people. So from where we started, that's, 800% growth. And we're really thrilled about that. A few years ago, we really leaned into the Google strategy, building up our listings and such. So we went from pretty lean, around 3,000 reviews to now over 26,000 reviews. So just kind of looking back of where we started with that foundation of we needed to build an online reputation for the company, for the branches, and for the individuals. We knew it had to start with getting the stories told through the reviews. So we've had a great partnership with Birdeye so far.
Wow, these are some amazing results. And I'm sure it wasn't a simple task to achieve this type of success. I'm curious, what kind of obstacles did you run into along the way, and how were you able to overcome them?
So we started out with pretty low response as well, like less than 5% of our customers were leaving a review. We wanted to grow that pretty exponentially. So that starts with a lot of trial and error, correction in how you communicate, how frequently you communicate, what methods do you communicate, how often are you following up. And so we've always been kind of adjusting our messaging, our call to actions, even, sometimes your colors and the frequency, all of that. And so over the last 6 years, we've changed it. And sometimes we'll set it and leave it for a while and watch the numbers. And if we're not getting the results we need, then we'll change it again. We recently changed it about a year ago, and I'm happy to report that now we're seeing that we're getting a 92% open rate, and nearly up to 50% of our customers are leaving a review. But the minute that that changes, we will go back to modifying that. Now it's beyond that. It wasn't just in the communication and the automation of collecting and asking for those reviews. The key here was getting our branches and our sales agents to really be vested in their online reputation. Because when they know it matters beyond what the company thinks is important, then they lean into it and they help their customers know. They prep them for the review. The customers know that that's important to them and why it matters, and that they also ask themselves. So it's not just all automation asking for review. They'll reach out with a personalized video or a text message or phone call, or during the transaction, they'll let them know that that matters. And when we can show them how they're seen and found, that they can be found locally in their market, the more that we get these reviews that feel more personalized to them and the experience the customer had, that's when we started to see these numbers really grow. So I think that that's critical when you're building your online reputation, that you've got to get your local offices and those really working one-on-one with the customer to insert themselves into the process. So it doesn't just become about, you closed, you got asked for a review, you left a review, but why that matters so much, and really kind of dial that in. So then some of the other features that I really love about the platform is, first of all, the reviews. The reviews are really great in making connections. We see that as another way to connect with our customers. And then that's the way that those testimonials, those reviews, those accolades are showcased. So that's digitally through web and other digital marketing presence. It's also showing up on social. So we will showcase those from a company perspective, but the branches will do those. And more importantly, the loan officers will do those. Our sales agents are out there promoting and easily showcasing those reviews on their web, on their social, as well as what the company's doing. The other key piece is responding to those reviews. The platform is great in making it really easy. We use autoresponder. We're soon going to use the AI functionality of that, but ways that your customer knows that you left them a review and it mattered, that their business mattered to you, and taking the time to review. We know that 90% of people who read the reviews will also read the responses to the review, so that it feeds into how you're seen and found. So it's just kind of this momentum behind getting everyone vested in the brand and why online reputation really matters.
Absolutely. And, Birdeye is that perfect sidekick for promoting customer loyalty and advocacy. We've got a variety of products that are made for this and some new AI capabilities to save you even more time. So if you're looking for omni-channel communication options to give your customers a way to connect with you when and where they want, messaging is a great place to start. This product now features AI-generated conversation summaries and response rephrasing along with our chatbot, Robin. And our best-in-class reviews product make it easy to report request, monitor, and share those reviews across hundreds of review sites like Google and Facebook. Plus, Birdeye makes it easy to respond to reviews, show current and potential buyers that you're listening and that you care. So this is all made easier with our new AI-assisted review responses, the AI-generated review summary, response rephrasing, and then the auto-translating. You can also easily gather additional customer feedback through our surveys tool and make sense of that customer feedback with insights and benchmarking. This tool is perfect for analyzing overall sentiment from online reviews and surveys, helping to humanize big data and understand how you stack up against your competitors. And then, of course, when issues inevitably arise, ticketing is a great product for delivering fast and efficient solutions so your customers know their issues are truly in good hands. And then you can turn happy customers into a marketing engine with referrals. This gives you some serious campaign power, and it's easy to track metrics. And these are all just a portion of the products we offer at Birdeye. So let us know in the chat if any of these sound like something you'd like to learn more about. And while you're doing that, let's see what advice Melissa has when creating advocacy campaigns for the first time. Or maybe you're just looking to build onto your current campaigns. Melissa, any tips of advice for our audience?
Yes, I have a few thoughts on this, but real fast, I just wanted to comment on the insight portion is really valuable when you go in and now you've got all your reviews and you can lean into like the way you serve up the insights so we can learn if we need to adapt or make things better for the customer or what's working so we can do more of that. The insights is pretty great. So I wanted to make sure I touched on that. All right, let's talk about customer advocacy, one of my favorite subjects of how do you actually get that? So it kind of starts with the why are you even doing that? Why are you trying to lean into that? And for us in our industry, we're in the lending space, in the real estate, homeownership space. And our national average across all platforms, all people, all companies, is that only 20% of customers will go back to the person that they got their transaction with before. And, you know, I think about that stat and I just think it's so low and it does not need to be that low. And why is that? Well, maybe they just didn't remember you after the fact. Maybe it became about the transaction and not about the true value of that customer. And are you seeing the value of that customer and all that it can bring to your business, not just that one transaction? So I think that why and where you're trying to move the needle is really critical before you start. So I always like to talk about experience that matters and what matters along the way for the customer. And one of the key areas that matter is how does the customer experience you? So ask yourself, how are they experiencing you? Whether that be you as an individual, you as a company, a local office, whatever that is. How are they experiencing you? And how they experience you shows up before, during, and after the transaction. So really getting clear and knowing that all three phases of the customer is so important. So let's start with the before. How do they experience you early on before they've done business with you? So one way to know that is to search out, how are you seen and found online? Well, conduct that research yourself. Search it out. Do you like how you're seen and found online? Is it adequate? Is it accurate? Is it enough? Is it telling the story correctly? If yes, do more of that. If no, then you need to adapt and move and adjust your business. So when they're forming an opinion about you and they're forming a judgment, they're forming decisions, are they seeking out and finding the right stuff about you? So it's fundamental with your reputation. So one of the ways you build your reputation, why we're here, is through your reviews, your customer advocates and endorsements. Are you getting enough of those? We talked a minute about how we fine-tune those to make sure we get as many customers as possible leaving those reviews. You've worked so hard to get them in the door, getting those reviews, responding to them, leveraging in them, promoting them. That feeds your before experience and judgments people make about you. The other thing is, how are you educating, informing, serving, communicating? Do they get to know you? Are they getting to know your business, your differentiators, your service, whatever your business is? But how are they finding that about you? And being really intentional about and asking yourself, how are the customers, well, first the consumers before they turn into your customer, how are they experiencing you? And are they having a positive, warm experience about you? And really focusing on that. Next is, how are they experiencing you during that transaction, during that service that you're providing? What is that experience? Are you being really intentional with making that customer feel they matter, that their business is important to you, that the steps that you take to make them feel like their needs are being met, that we're listening, communicating, all of those things matter. So how are your employees showing up in that process? Is it repeatable? Is it personalized? All of those things are really critical for today's customers, in that they want to know that while they are transacting with you and doing business with you, that they felt something different. They felt something memorable. So really challenging yourself and making sure that you're building strategies that focus on that transactional side of the business. What is that customer care by everyone that touches them in that process? The last area, and what I would think is probably one of the most important, is how are they experiencing you afterwards? So afterwards, so they remember to come back to you. So they remember to tell their friends and family about you. So they talk about you. So all of that before and during matters, but after also matters, to get them to connect. Are you showing up again? Are you showing up and making connections? Are you providing value add? Are you able to leverage data that might serve up when would be the right time for you to connect with them? Is everything automated in those connections? Do you have calendar appointments that remind you to do certain customer outreach or follow-ups at anniversaries or at critical points? There's all of this is available to make the process so much easier in building that advocacy. But that post work is so valuable. You know, one of the things we do in creating these connections, so we have reason to reach out, because I am going to raise that 20%. And I'm fortunate to say we're at about 40%. So we've done a really good job in moving the needle. But it's a constant work at thinking of all three stages of the customer. And when it comes to the post, we want to follow up at the year mark. We want to follow up after they've gotten into the home. We want to use data that give us different alerts and insights into what might be happening in their world to give us just another chance to connect. So I think it's really critical, if you're going to build the advocacy, that you start with a why. You start with what you're trying to achieve, and really breaking it into those three categories, I think, is really critical in building advocacy. It cannot just be at one stage. It really does need to be at all three. So spend some time looking at your customer journey in all three areas and seeing where you can make minor changes to really dial up that, just that impact and that memory that the customer will have with you.
Yeah, and that's really powerful advice. You know, and the great part about Birdeye is that our products grow and scale with your company, whether you have 1 or 1,000 locations. We are continuously innovating for our customers. And so this means you can continue to expand from the success of your campaigns without having to worry about outgrowing Birdeye or having your customers bear the grunt of those usual growing pains. This gives them more reason to stay loyal, increasing your retention rates, which leads to less churn and more revenue. So Melissa, one last question. What advice can you give to our audience to build these important sectors of their business?
Yes, thank you. I am excited to give you kind of my final thoughts. I have 4 tips of how you can just kind of get your arms around this whole thing around loyalty, retention, advocacy, why that matters. So the first tip is around make experience a priority. The priority in what you do, what you plan, how you strategize, how you write in your business plans. Is that experience showing up all places? Does every employee know why it matters? Does every employee know how and where their role in that experience? That customer journey across your business shows up with every interaction they have. So making sure that you've got it well defined, well trained, and just that is a priority, that all the priority isn't just in getting them into the door, but also that experience while they transact and really critical after. The second is being consistent with the connections, that it doesn't just feel like something, oh, I haven't talked to you in a few years, let's reach out. Or you just did business and now I'm going to bombard you immediately for all these referrals. There is an art form to being consistent with your connections. Are they connected with you socially? Are they connected with you through different marketing automations and ways that you connect with them? Can you send some personalized videos? Can you serve up value add content, education, instruction? Again, it depends on what your business is, but I would challenge you to say that there are so many ways that you can have these natural connections with your customers so they know that they matter to you, that it wasn't just one and done. The third tip is all around relevance. So are you being relevant in what they need? Are you being really dialed into what today's customers seek out and want from the business that you're in? And are you able to fulfill that? Do you have some differentiators from your competition that you can easily explain and easily promote and connect with the customer on? Are you able to show up with really relevant things that matter to them? What are they seeking out? What are they needing to be instructed about? Not just waiting to meet with you in person, but can they get educated in advance with your business, with your tips, with your expertise? Don't save all that to yourself, because as we know, customers are searching it out. That's today's consumers are doing all of that online research, and they want to be able to find you. So make sure that the things that you put out there on your website, on social, on your different channels of business, through your people, do you have enough that's really connecting and adding value to that customer? And the fourth tip I have for you is around asking your customers for their business, asking them for referrals of their friends and family, the people they care about, really leaning into why that matters, and manufacturing steps in the customer journey where it naturally can show up for you to ask about that. So it doesn't feel so awkward that you never asked for their business or their referrals until after the fact, that this naturally would come up and that they know that you're committed to them and their experience, and their friends and family will get the same experience. And if they know of anyone, sometimes just building up your business and getting your customers to advocate for you is setting the opportunity for them to do that. They don't always know that that matters to you, that that's important. And I found this time and time again, that simply asking will help do that, but in a natural, positive, personalized manner. But just don't forget that part in the journey. So starting with experience, making it a priority, being consistent with those connections, providing value and relevance to them, and then simply just asking, letting them know that you will continue to care for them as well as the people that they care about.
Well, thank you so much, Melissa. I think these tips and just everything that you've provided is, a testament to you and your experience. You truly have been a wealth of knowledge. These are really valuable tips for our audience to take away with them. And if you're
thank
interested,
you. We love our partnership with Birdeye, 7 years. I mean, you've seen the numbers where we've been able to grow the different platforms you have that have really been critical to this. I mean, customer experience, customer loyalty, customer retention is so critical for business. We just appreciate the platform and the partnership and all the advancements you keep making.
Likewise, and it's been such a privilege to grow alongside one another. And for the audience, if you're interested in learning more about any of the products we mentioned today, please join our office hours at the end of the day today to see them in action. This session has been recorded and will be available at the conclusion of the conference. It's been my pleasure. Thank you all for joining us and have a great rest of your day.